I welcome you to this Sunday evening program. Today we see less people, maybe due to yesterday Shivratri. People are tired, maybe. So we see less people today. But in any event, we will continue our talk, the motto, which is based on the words of the Buddha. So we speak as Buddha taught all the teaching which are stored in what is called sutras, Sutra Pitaka, and they are preserved in the Buddhist scripture called Tripitaka. So today I would like to speak from one particular sutra called Vitakkasaṇṭhāna Sutta. This sutra is from Majjhima Nikaya, Middle Length Sutra. And the title of the sutra is The Removal of Distracting Thoughts. So I chose this sutra because we get this question a lot about how to manage overthinking or some of the negativity, unwholesome, disturbing thought that keeps ringing in our mind. You know, we keep getting this thought. मन में बार-बार अलग-अलग विचार आते रहते हैं. कुछ जो है चिंताजनक जो होते हैं, यानी कि जो आपको थोड़ा आपको तकलीफ देते हैं, आपको डिस्टर्ब करते हैं, ऐसा थॉट भी होते हैं. तो इससे क्या करें, कैसे करें, और खास तौर से ध्यान का समय कैसे करें. So this sutra is all about thought, regarding thought, because we keep on getting thoughts all the time, from morning till evening, and more specifically during meditation, we get a lot of thoughts, and that can be sometimes disturbing, some of the thought that keeps on coming again and again. So for that reason, Buddha has given this sutra. So let us start the sutra. So on one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi Jetas Grove, Anathapindika's park. There he addressed the monk thus, "Monks, Venerable Sir," they replied. The Blessed One said this: "Monks, when a monk is pursuing the higher mind, from time to time, he should give attention to 5 signs." What are the 5? So basically, when anybody, here Buddha of course speaking to the monk, but in general, anybody who wish to develop their mind, who wish to sort of bring their mind up, who wish to make their mind more stable, more powerful, more focused, it is for them that the Buddha is speaking. जो लोग अपना मन को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, मन को मजबूत करना चाहते हैं, मन को सुखी और शांति और खास तौर से मन को स्थिर बनाना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए भगवान बुद्धा ये सूत्र को दिए हैं. तो 5 अलग-अलग चीजें बताए हैं. 5 things have been mentioned. Here monks, when a monk is giving attention to some sign, and owing to that sign, there arise in him evil, unwholesome thought connected with desire, hate, and delusion, then he should give attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome. Okay, so if you are say focused on one particular thing and that is creating some sort of disturbance in the mind, in the form of desire or in the form of hatred or ignorance, which is confusion. Your mind is restless, your mind is confused, or your mind is being filled with some sort of irritability, some sort of ill will or anger. आपका मन में इस तरह का विचार आते हैं जो जिसमें चंचलता है, या गुस्सा आ रहे हैं, या वैर आ रहे हैं, या कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या हो रहा है. तो इस तरह का चीजें जब आता है, then when this kind of thing comes up, what we have to do is that we have to shift our focus, just simply shift our focus, you see. So this is the first advice. Sounds very simple, right? But we don't sometimes do that, right? We still get engulfed in that. We're totally in that only. तो भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि अब वहां से जिसमें आपका माइंड है, चाहे वो ध्यान में हो, कुछ काम कर रहे हो, कुछ चीज में हो, वहां जिस चीज के कारण आपको तकलीफ हो रहा है, आपका मन में चंचलता हो रहे हैं, वैर इस तरह का हो रहे हैं, तो आपको वहां से मन को दूसरा तरफ में शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा, दूसरा तरफ में बदलना पड़ेगा. Okay, so this is very helpful, because if you are just into it, the problem will become more and more, right? So you have to shift your attention and do something else. Like in the case of meditation, there are, as we know, there are different meditation. So you can shift the subject of meditation, right? So maybe you can do some other meditation, or maybe do some walking, or do some Maitri meditation, or breath meditation, or gratitude meditation, or or this reflection of your own goodness, or the quality of the Buddha. So you can maybe shift your attention. Or in your day-to-day life, maybe you can just, you can maybe, do something else, focus. If you're reading, maybe you can just write something, or maybe speak, chant something, or maybe, talk to somebody, go for a walk, something like that, whenever you're feeling your mind is like, the mind is not well, because that simple shift can sort of bring the mind, bring back the peace of mind, the stability of mind. Just the shift is as simple as that. So this is, this is very simple technique, yet very beneficial. And that's, Buddha always speaks very simple thing actually, but so simple thing, but then those simple thing has huge impact, huge benefit in our life. Because sometimes people, do one thing and then they're stuck in that. They don't want to give it up, thinking that something is there. Maybe you can try it out for some time, but how much you will try, right? There should be some kind of, you don't need to give up the actual goal that you have, actual purpose that you have. But to reach the same purpose, there can be different ways and means, not necessarily be just one means. It can be book, it can be people, it can be friend, it can be, I don't know, job, right? Sometimes you got to change your job if it is so much difficult, or you are not getting anywhere, or you find, when you are not totally feeling well, it is when it is too much, I think it can be applied to many different aspects of our life. So this is the first technique. So second technique, if while he is giving attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome, which means still, let's say still you are doing this, but you are still not able to solve your mind, your distraction, your confusion or your difficulty. Then what you should do? Then he should examine the danger in those thoughts. Thus, these thoughts are unwholesome, reprehensible, resulting in suffering. When he examines the danger in those thoughts, then any unwholesome thought connected with desire, hate, and delusion are abandoned in him and subside. With their abandoning, his mind becomes steadied, internally composed, unified, and concentrated. Just as a man or a woman, young, youthful, and fond of ornament, would be horrified, humiliated, and disgusted if the carcass of a snake or a dog or a human being were hung around his or her neck, so too when the monk examined the danger in those thoughts. So now let's say you're shifting your mind to something else, and still those thoughts are coming, those distracting thoughts are coming, or desire or hatred or delusion, confusion. Then you have to look at the danger. What are the danger? What are the downsides? What are the difficulty around that? So it is like a reflection of a sort, investigation, as Buddha said, Dhamma vichaya. You have to investigate your thought. You should have an investigative mind, reflective mind. So you reflect the danger around that. See, if I think like this thought is coming in my mind, but this thought can lead to, say, this kind of speech, this kind of action, and it will have problem to me. तो आपको उस विचार का उससे क्या खतरा हो सकता है उसको देखना होगा. So all kinds of danger. Or you can also recollect your own past experiences with that thought. What kind of experience you had with that particular thought. That can also help you, because naturally we act or we speak as a result of those thinking, right? So we will have experiences of those thoughts. So we have to see the danger, and all the distracting thought can be summarized in these three, as Buddha mentioned here and even in the beginning. That is with greed, hatred, and delusion. So greed, and hatred and delusion, lobha, dosa, moha. But of course we should not, again, we have to understand what is greed. We should not misconfuse, we should not confuse it with our healthy desire or our need. We have needs and desires, or some of the healthy desire that we have, but greed is more like when it is connected with restlessness and impatient, right? Let's say example, you wish to get a good job, or you wish to earn, but in the process you are too hurry, you're too impatient, you're not in the process of that job or making money or business. So what you do is, since you are hurry and very impatient, you make some mistake, right? You take some shortcut, you tell lie, you try to cheat people, all sort of thing can come up. That is great. Just making money is not bad. Just having good job, having promotion, achieving something is not bad. But those impatient, or those sort of your mind which is restless, is the great. In the same way, with regard to hatred. Now, hatred, of course, we have to understand again, is that when we see something wrong, then of course we have to address that wrong. We have to do something about that wrong. But as Buddha spoke in many other places as well, that we should first see that we don't allow that hatred to come up. We have to sort of make the hatred melt down, and then we act. We don't act, say, suppose we have full of anger and then we say something, we do something, then it will be all going to be wrong. So you see, you are acting on, but you're not driven by hatred, not driven by anger, but out of compassion for yourself and for the other person, right? You are because you know that this is going to be of wrong, any particular situation, let's say, which is making you to feel angry. So you can examine or reflect that if this situation goes on, if this thing goes on and on, it will be of harm to me and the other person, right? So you, as Buddha said, see the danger, so you see the danger here. Oh, something wrong is happening here, and this wrong is going to be of some danger, difficult, unhappiness, loss to me and other people. So you take action, you do something, you don't even hate yourself as well. You should not hate yourself also in the process, because hatred can sometimes manifest in the form of self-hatred as well. So greed, hatred, and delusion. And delusion is confusion, which is unclarity. You're not sure, you're not clear about what exactly is happening. You're just getting, in fact, Buddha says that greed and hatred comes as a result of confusion, unclarity, right? So that is one of the reasons why we meditate. We did meditation 15 minutes for 15-20 minutes prior to this talk, is to settle down our mind, right? So we settle down our mind, and with the settled mind, things become much more clear, right? So if it is not settled, then the mind keeps on proliferating, keeps on jumping. Proliferation, which is jumping on and thinking on, and restless, distraction. So you will not get the proper perspective you won't get of the situation, of the thing that's going on, including the thought itself, not just some particular situation, but within your own mind, all the different thinking that comes up in your mind, right? So you see the danger in that, you see the difficulty, so it's a proper meditation, where you sit and you just reflect, so here we can understand that if we can understand that when we are meditating, we are not, of course, surely we are not getting concentration immediately. That is for sure. All of us go through that. But Buddha is saying that, yes, that's a fact, but you do this, that is also part of the meditative process, where you are just in a very proper way, in a systematic way, in a very in a way where it is you are actually telling yourself, you are telling yourself like a mantra, you tell yourself the danger of that particular thought, one by one, let's say anger. Or if you're getting anger, towards somebody, because some anger can be on yourself or somebody, right? So then you will tell yourself, oh, see, this anger is going to be harmful to me. It is going to create confusion in my mind, enmity. I will lose friend. I will lose people, and people, I will lose support of people, and I may fight. This anger may become even more. It will have some impact on my health as well, and I will be grumpy all the time. My face will be very, my face will be very unpleasant. I won't be pleasant like that. You have to tell. It's not a very, very difficult thing to do. Danger. So now when I say danger, you don't need to imagine the danger as something very out of the normal world. You don't need to ask the God or somebody to tell you what is the danger. Oh God, please tell me. Unveil, open up the danger that this thought of mine is going to have on my life. So you don't need to wait for the God to tell you, But if you just, as much as right? Like your own experience, you have a long life, so past, as I said, past experiences, so what are all the danger that can have as a result of that particular distracting thought, And now here, of course, thought keeps coming and going, but certain distracting thought, certain thought that keeps on pulling you, on those thought you need to reflect upon. Otherwise you can just ignore. These are, of course, with regard to some major distraction. So what is this is the second one. Third one, what is the third one? If this doesn't work, the first one doesn't work, second one doesn't work, then you can go to the third one. The third one says, then he should try to forget those thoughts and should not give attention to them. Okay, so the third one is ignore. You have to just ignore. You just don't give attention to that. That is one of the way of dealing, right? So you don't give attention to that, and you're just doing your thing. Or let's say in meditation, you're doing breath meditation, so your mind is on the breath. Or in your day-to-day life, you're doing something, you're focused on that. You try to ignore it, because sometimes ignoring can help, not only in meditation but in relationship as well sometimes, right? So if you give too much attention to people who are troubling you, then they get that chance to trouble you more. They get that motivation to keep on troubling you, right? Because it's like you are reacting, and then that reaction, they get some sort of a gratification, they get some sort of joy, not joy, but some sort of a, I don't know, like a joy kind of thing. They get that kick, So, so therefore, you need to sometimes ignore, people. I mean, specifically those people who are of some negative, or you find them difficult, right? So ignoring is a very good one. So when you ignore, then it doesn't have the chance to continue. You are actually breaking. It's a breakup. So it's a break that happens, and then that won't continue further. So I mean, you see, it's a very simple technique, but it will work and work. It may work and it will work. But again, it depends on situation, because sometimes ignoring alone cannot function, cannot work. That's the reason Buddha gave six different, five different method. So third one is over. So next we go to the fourth one. So Buddha is saying, if while he's trying to forget those thoughts and is not giving attention to them, there still arise in him evil, unwholesome thought connected with desire, hate, and delusion, then he should give attention to stilling, to pacify, stilling the thought formation of those thoughts. When he gives attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts, then any evil, unwholesome thought connected with desire, hate, and delusions are abandoned in him and subside. With their abandoning, his mind becomes steadied internally, composed, unified, and concentrated, just as a man. Okay, so this simile, I forgot to give you the simile. In the third one, simile is, we don't have simile in the third one. Okay, fourth one we have simile. So I tell the fourth one. Just as a man walking fast might consider, why am I walking fast? What if I walk slowly? and he would walk slowly. Then he might consider, why am I walking slowly? What if I stand? And he would stand. Then he might consider, why am I standing? What if I sit? And he would sit. Then he might consider, why am I sitting? What if I lie down? And he would lie down. By doing so, he would substitute for each grosser posture one that was subtler. So too, when a monk gives attention to stealing thought formation of those thoughts. So now the fourth one is called stealing the thought formation of those thought. So thought formation, which is sankhara, sankhara is our habit pattern, with the kind of habit that we have that keeps on coming in our mind. So we have to steal the thought formation. So how do we do that? Of course, for different kinds of habit, thought formation, and thought formation is basically, there is a formation. There is, because of a repeatedly you are involved in that particular thought, so it becomes more. It has become strong. So what you do is you steal that thought by different method of meditation. Let's say with regard to hatred, there is Maitri meditation. That's the antidote of Maitri meditation. Metta meditation, where you sit and you visualize your own smiling face, and then you wish yourself, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be joyful, may I be free from hatred, anger, and sickness and worries. You very genuinely, from the depth of your heart, you very much genuinely wish yourself happiness. You use any phrase you can use that will give you joy. You smile. So when you watch a smiling face, you feel like smiling, and in fact you can literally smile as well. Like you can have a smiling, your lip can be smiling, right, while you are doing. And in the same way you visualize the face of your near and dear one, your family, your friends, then your colleagues, or some other known people who are close to you, starting from people who are more close to you. Then for each person you wish the same way. So that will help you to reduce anger or hatred. And with regard to then, of course, after individual wishing, you go area wise. For example, you're sitting here in this hall, so you wish me all the beings. So you use the word beings, when beings means all the people who are living, who have life, human being, non-human being, everybody, whoever have got life. There are many other beings who we have not seen them, but they are there. So you use the word being, which includes all the living beings. So you say, maybe all the beings living in this hall, including visible, invisible. So we say, may they be happy, may they be, the same phrase you use, right? May they be happy, peaceful, etc. Then in this locality, in this city, in this country, and then in this continent, then different continents of the world, then the whole globe. Then again you say, in the whole universe, may all the beings living, for example, may all the beings living in this hall be happy, be peaceful, be joyful, be healthy, be free from harm and danger, sickness and worries. You say like that, you mentally you tell yourself, you wish that phrase. In the same way, as I said, one by one, all the way till the universe, then finally you come to yourself. So that's a powerful way of stealing down the gross, or gross sankhara, something that is your habit. Because we have some people, right? So we say, oh, he's a very angry fellow. We say, no, right? Oh, he's a very angry fellow. He gets anger very fast. Very quickly he gets angry. So that is his thought formation. That is his sankharas. That is his habitual thought. So you do like that. And in the same way, if it is a greed, so you can, for example, with regard to food, then you can maybe reflect on the food, and you have to imagine the food has gone inside your tummy, and then once it has gone inside, so it is not so much delicious, right? So basically you try to look at if you're too much greedy about food and you're not able to control, then you see like that. And if you are with regard to body, if you are very much too much, or you're some people who are too much getting attracted to the opposite gender, then you have to reflect on the inner part of the body, each part one by one, or all the bodily part one by one, because when we see one bodily part singly, like teeth, if you take the teeth mentally, if you visualize to take the teeth out, it is not very beautiful, it is not so attractive, so likewise you see all that. So these are the different forms of Maitri meditation, and so basically you have to figure out what is your habit, which is creating this trouble, and you basically do a antidote, give an antidote, opposite of that, like say anger, I already mentioned, Maitri, metta, loving kindness. So that antidote, if you give, then that will still down. But because in the first one, what we did, we just changed our activity. In the second one, we see the danger. Third one, we just ignore the thought, and ignore the thought. In the fourth one, now we do something opposite to that, And the fifth one, you do certain, Buddha says that then with his teeth clench and his tongue press against the roof of his mouth, he should bend down, constrain, and crush mind with mind. Okay, so so it's like you are physically, you are doing something like, as Buddha mentioned here, teeth and your tongue, you press it, and then you just like, some kind of a physical strongly, you press your body or your eyes, your teeth, and then you just crush your mind. You sort of say, just go away, go away, something like that. Go away, that particular thought you wish may it go away, it should go, some kind of a physical kind of thing. And in that way, whereby you are, which is like you are sort of trying to use some force, basically, some physical force, including mind, of course. You just forcefully try to suppress that particular distracting thought, because you did all these different things, but still it is not stilling down, But of course, I feel that if we follow some of the all the earlier, the first four, if we follow, and then I think a lot of, I think in many cases we will be able to stabilize our mind. We will be able to calm down our mind. It may not be very difficult, I feel. But in case you did all of that and still you find that your mind is distracting, so you use certain force, certain physical force or mental force to just say, go away, something like that. Okay, so these are all different ways and means that Buddha has mentioned. So to wrap it up, wrap up our talk, we just say the first one is, you should not give attention to, then he should give attention to some other thought, something which is wholesome. So you bring in wholesome thought. Basically you replace. In the first, it looks like replacing that particular mind with something which is wholesome. So the second one is you should see the danger in that particular thought. And third one, you just ignore the thought, ignore that particular thought. And the fourth one, you use some antidote for that particular thought. And the fifth one, you use certain physical mental force to finally subside your thought. So these are the five means. But having used all the five, still you are not able to do, then I don't know what to do. But I think it will work, and it may not, even if not works, I think you can also not necessarily using in this particular order, but maybe one of the technique, whichever of one of the technique, if you find suitable, I think maybe you can take the help of that. And and you can see, you can try it out for several days, several months, maybe several weeks or months, and then still it doesn't happen, then maybe you can change some technique, different technique, So, but in any case, we have to make sure that we do not allow some of the distracting thought. We cannot allow our mind to be, distracted or non-focused. It should be, our mind should be unified, which is very important for us to achieve anything in our life, whether spiritual, material, basically achieving something for our happiness, and for our joy, for our progress, success. We need to make sure that our mind is composed, unified, stable, focused, and peaceful. So in any case, we have to do it anyway, right? So if we don't, then we may not enjoy happiness. It will be very difficult for us, because happiness is something that we need to generate within our mind. External thing cannot give us happiness. I mean, they can be a conditioning factor, but ultimately it is your own job to, basically your own mind. It's a training of your own mind that will ultimately do the work for you. So you can't rely on something else, or somebody, some other person, or some thing, or somebody, whatever. You cannot rely on an external factor, whether it is people or things or any other thing, but it will come within our own mind. So with this sutra, the sutta, Vitakkasaṇṭhāna Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 20, the removal of distracting thought. We conclude our Sunday Dhamma program. Okay, so we wish all of you good health, happiness, joy, and satisfaction. So those who are online and offline, we invite you for the next Sunday. Keep coming every Sunday. Today we have less people, maybe due to yesterday's Shivratri, so people are tired maybe. So, but in any case, you all have come. So keep coming, and we'll see next Sunday. So if any question you have, maybe I will, you can come here and, individually you can ask. Okay, so we conclude by wishing happiness of all the beings, the chanting of metta. Sukhe bhave ne dukkha aham niccang aham viya ita cha me sukhe honto majjata jataverino imam hi gaman khettam hi satta honto sukhe sada tato paranchara Chakkavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu.